Alright man, we're back today with brand new WWE action figure news and another leaked lineup today. We're diving into WWE Elite Series 127, and this news does come to us from Mitch Craig on Twitter, man. Shout out to Mitchell Craig for the information as always, but we're going to get into this, man, and we're going to break it down. WWE Elite Series 127, we actually already know two figures from this set, and so we talked about this just the other day from some Walmart listings not too long ago, but man, the news has been rampant, man. If you have missed the last week or so on the channel, there have been a lot of leaks, a lot of different lineups coming out and things like that. So if you want the up-to-date know-it-all, or you want the up-to-date news on what is coming out in the near future from WWE and Mattel, you got to go check it out. We know about Ultimate Editions that we covered yesterday, leaked lineups for Elites, different figures coming, so definitely go check those out. But today we're getting into WWE Elite Series 127, and I'm excited to get into it with you, man. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's talk about the first two figures that we already knew about or that we've discussed before, and that is going to be Big Bronson Reed, and we did know that he was coming again. He was a part of a Walmart listing. He was near the bottom or something like that on a Walmart listing, and so we kind of just used context clues. And in that video, I said I bet that this figure is going to be a part of Elite Series 127 because it's the next set, right? We know about Elite 125 should be shipping any day now. We do know about Elite Series 126. Dude, I cannot wait to see Elite Series 126. My God in heaven, I want to see these figures in prototype form. I bet they will be in the next gallery, hopefully. I'm really excited to see what those look like. So Elite Series 126. So the next set that we have not seen, we don't know any renders or anything like that, is going to be Elite Series 127, and Bronson Reed is that first figure there as a part of that wave right there. So I think this is going to be his Tribal Thief gear. We've talked about this a little bit. Probably just be an updated black gear Bronson Reed, and I think this figure should be pretty damn good. The next figure in the set is going to be JC Mateo. Now, JC Mateo is also a part of that set that we talked about, and his name was also leaked in a Walmart listing. So that was another figure that we kind of, again, similar to Bronson Reed, we used context clues and we said, you know what, Bronson Reed and JC Mateo, probably a part of the same set, and since the next set is Elite Series 127, it would make a lot of sense if he were a part of that set. You know, just again, using context clues, use the brain a little bit, but we discussed this. It'll probably be earlier on JC Mateo instead of in the face paint. However, it would be really cool if they gave him an interchangeable head with the face paint on there or something like that. I think that would be really awesome, but I'm not going to hold my breath or, you know, put it in my brain that, oh yeah, it's absolutely going to be his face paint, but I think it would make for the better figure. I think that it would be a better figure overall if JC Mateo were in the face paint, but that is the first two figures. We already knew about these a little bit, so let's get into the figures that we didn't know about. We didn't know about these figures, so let's get into the next one, man. The first one, and I don't know who, I think we'll be excited about this one. I think this is big because of some different things, and that is going to be Nathan Frasier. Nathan Frasier getting an Elite here in Elite Series 127. If you guys were unaware, his tag team partner was a part of Elite Series 117 with Axiom, and that figure was very, very good, but the thing is we did not have a Nathan Frasier to pair with that. The only thing we had was basic figures. There was a basic Nathan Frasier, and he also got a Chase variant. So he had a navy blue that kind of matched the Elite Axiom, and then he also had a red figure that was the Chase variant. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Never once saw this figure. I've never seen this figure in person. I have never seen it at a Walmart, a Target, anything like that. I think this is one of the more rarer basics of the last few years. I don't know what the hell is going on with the main event series. Unless you're a big-time superstar, it seems like they do not print your figures off, man. Take this with the women's figures, you know, the female basic figures. They don't ever pop up anywhere, man. And, you know, if you want to pre-order them from Ringside, they're very scarce, and it's very hard to get your hands on them. So I don't know what's going on with the basic lines. They're very weird, and so I never saw this Nathan Frasier, but he is getting an Elite, which I think is going to be awesome. It should be great. I'm interested to see, you know, what comes of it and what gear they choose. It would be really cool if they did the pink. I think the pink gear would be the way to go to match the Chase Axiom would be pretty cool. Or did he ever wear, hold up, I don't know off the top of the dome if he ever wore the pink gear. I want to say he did, pretty sure. Now, he'll probably be in red. I cannot find anything on him wearing pink. I don't really care what it is, man. It would be cool. Maybe it'll just be an Elite conversion of one of his basics, which I guess would make sense. You know, that navy-ish gear, or maybe the red gear. That's probably what they're going to do, right? I don't think he ever wore pink gear, actually, so I don't know. I guess it'll probably be red or blue if I had to make a guess. But God, that's weird. Maybe I'm having like Mandela effect on if he ever wore that pink gear. I guess he never did wear that pink. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know if I was wrong about the pink gear. I could have swore he did. But Nathan Frasier is the next figure in the set, and I think that's a solid addition right there. But let's get into the next figure, which is going to be Alexa Bliss. Man, we have not seen Alexa Bliss in an Elite line in a very long time. It seems like it's been a while since we've gotten an Alexa Bliss figure. Last time we saw Alexa Bliss was in Elite Series 97, where she came with the Lily doll, and that seems like yesterday, but that was a long time ago, man. And, you know, back in the day, we used to get them in a decent clip. She doesn't have that many Elites. You would think that Alexa Bliss has just this long track record of Elites. She does have a handful of Elites. They were solid, and then, you know, she kind of took a hiatus for a little bit, and we didn't really get any, but then you have her Ultimate Edition, which is probably, bar none, the best Alexa Bliss, and that Ultimate Edition figure is very good, very underrated, probably one of the most underrated Ultimate Editions of all time. You could get it for like $6 or $5 at one point on Amazon, which is just an insane amount of value. I don't know what it goes for now. If you stockpiled on those Alexa Blisses back in the day, you may be sitting on something now. I don't know how much it goes for, but those figures are really damn good. They posed really well. I can't remember where I ranked it when I ranked all the Ultimates, but it was pretty high up. It's a very damn good figure. It poses incredibly well. It has a lot going for it. It's pretty much a 2-in-1 figure, so there was a lot to love about that Alexa Bliss, and hopefully this new Alexa will be very good as well. We have seen, you know, some double jointed figures and things like that, but with the new sculpts they're giving the women's boots and the kick pads and things like that, this one should be very damn good as well. I'm excited to see what gear they go with, what look they go for, and hopefully it will be very good. The women's Elites now have just been incredible compared to back in the day, so I'm sure this Alexa Bliss will be very good. And then we have Sami Zayn getting an Elite figure, and Sami Zayn, no stranger to the Elite line, actually bats a pretty high percentage in terms of his figures. You know, he's had lots of different ones. We have seen many of the cargo pants era. I really wish that he would go back to the tights. Maybe this will be a tights one. I don't know. You know, I think he has worn the tights a couple times here and there, but it may be the baggy pants still. I don't know exactly what look they're going to go for and things like that. We'll have to see, of course. I don't know. Sami Zayn, he doesn't do these over-the-top crazy gears and things, so, but we got our Survivor Series War Games. We've had the long black tights. I think it'd be cool if they use the Channing Stacks Lorenzo leg mold instead of the baggier cargo pants mold that Sergeant Slaughter, I think it was, or that, you know what I'm talking about, like the baggy pants mold. I would like to see them go to the Channing Stacks Lorenzo mold so that they can make his boots the accurate height, because when they use those baggy pants mold, they got to give him the Macho Man style boots, and that always pisses me off, so hopefully they will switch the leg mold or change something up so it'll actually be accurate. But let me know what gear you want to see out of Sami Zayn. But let's move on to the last figure in the set, and on this original listing it does say to be determined, but they did say over there on X that, you know, a while back, similar to a Bronson Reed and a JC Mateo sort of situation, they did say that an LA Knight was listed and that it would make sense for him to be the last figure in the set. Now, I don't remember seeing that listing, but at the same time, it seemed like everybody was kind of on board with that. So, LA Knight apparently going to be the last figure in WWE Elite Series 127. So, the full wave here is all modern day talent. It's all current day talent, which is a trend that we have continued to see. But LA Knight, no stranger to the line. Again, we have seen quite a few. They released his Elite 108 figure 3 different times. You had a Greatest Hits, a Top Picks, and an Elite 108. You had his Defining Moments figure. You had his Royal Rumble Elite. You had the Elite 120. You had the Ultimate Edition. So they have put out quite a few LA Knight figures, and honestly, man, his Ultimate is his best figure, and his Elite 120 isn't bad, but everywhere I go, I see LA Knight figures shelf warming. Whether it was the 108, the Defining Moments was in stock on Ringside for a very long time. It got down to like $10 to $12 or something like that at some point. The Royal Rumble Elite, I see everywhere from that set. The Elite 120 LA Knight, I see everywhere. So I don't know if he just sells crazy, and so he, you know, is very popular and that people buy his figures up. It's probably the case that people, you know, probably are buying out his figures, and then so there's, you know, multiple left over for people to purchase. It's just, I think that his figures could be so much better, man. I think his formula could be better. His head sculpts are always a bit wonky and things like that. His gears aren't the worst I've ever seen, but man, his figures have a weird track record. I don't know. And his Ultimate is solid. He has a solid Ultimate. I still think his legs are too skinny that they give him. And, you know, there's some different things going on with the LA Knight figures, but yeah, I think his figures could definitely be improved in a lot of ways, and hopefully we'll get something going there. I'd just like to see a change in formula. I think that there is just much improvement that can be made there, but that's your full set. You have Sami Zayn, Alexa Bliss, JC Mateo, Nathan Frasier, Bronson Reed, and LA Knight. Another full modern 2025-2026 wave, which is insane. But we've talked about this before, man. The reason that they're doing this is because they can get more modern day talent out. And they have all of these re-release lines, and they have all of these lines that they can fill with flashback talent, like the Monday Night Wars, the Monday Night Wars Greatest Hits, the Legends Greatest Hits, the From the Vault, the normal Greatest Hits, right? I mean, there's so many different, you know, re-release waves out now, and there's so many waves and lines where they can go back into the well and get those, and not to mention the Ultimate Edition lines from those same lines, so you can go back and get even other looks. So that's the reason that they do that. They're able to get more modern day talent out there, and so that, you know, it's just the the business model that they have. You know, it used to be kind of one women's figure, and they've kind of continued that trend. And, you know, not every single wave is all modern talent, but there for a while, man, when it was back at what, like Elite 114 to Elite 119 or something like that, a lot of those waves were strictly modern day talent, and then they kind of got away from that, and then it looks like they're kind of going back towards that, so you kind of get like a flip-flop. Sometimes you'll get one or two flashbacks maybe, and then, you know, then they'll go back to the main day talent. So that's just how it is, man. I want to know what your thoughts are on this full wave. It's not the most exciting wave for me. When I think about these on paper, I think that there's not really a Sami Zayn gear that I'm begging to have, so his is like, Alexa Bliss, I think it's been a long time since we've seen Alexa Bliss. I'd like to see what her figures can look like in 2026 compared to her others, and see how it compares to the Ultimate Edition. JC Mateo, first time in the line, would love to see, you know, I always love getting new characters in the line, so I'm interested to see what his figure looks like, what it poses like. Maybe we'll get some new formula or sculpts in there. You have Nathan Frasier. I love Nathan Frasier, so I'd love to see him in the Elite line, especially since I never found his basic. And then you have Bronson Reed. That's a very high percentage when it comes to good figures. His figures are always really, really good, and I like the Tribal Thief gimmick, and I liked his gear and the way that he was portrayed on television better than before that. So I'm actually looking forward to a Bronson Reed update. I think it should be pretty good. And then LA Knight, I don't know, man. Unless it's just some legendary gear or something that blows me away, I don't know if I'm going to be that excited about LA Knight. But you can let me know what you think of that full wave down in the comment section below. And do not miss out on our other news videos where we go through different leaks and stuff like that, man. It's been a lot. It's been very news heavy the last week or so. So you definitely want to go check that out. But before we get out of here, man, let's get into our random comment shout out for today. And for a random comment shout out today, it's going to go to Welcome to Schwag, which is a cool name. Anyways, it says, I want a Sheamus and a Miz Ultimate Edition. And this is actually something that I see quite a bit. A lot of people say they want Miz, and, you know, it's unbelievable. You know, somebody will get an Ultimate Edition, and then one of the top comments is, can't believe Kofi Kingston still hasn't gotten one, or can't believe Sheamus hasn't gotten one, or Miz, or whoever it is. And I can agree that it is crazy. You know, we've seen so many different talents get these Ultimate Editions, but I think the problem arises is that Ultimate Editions weren't around then, and then it turns into, you know, where do they put them in? But I think they could swing it. I just think that they're probably waiting on the specific opportunity where they aren't stuck, you know, trying to sell these. But at the same time, I think the biggest issue is just that they are not on TV all the time anymore. You know, Sheamus is not a real prominent part of WWE television. Miz isn't either. And obviously, you know, guys that are on TV right now are going to get more of the spotlight, even if the Miz and Sheamus have better careers overall than a guy like a LA Knight or Dominic Mysterio, these guys. But Dominic Mysterio, LA Knight, very popular right now in the landscape, and they have to sell figures based on right now. Not that Sheamus and Miz can't sell figures, because I think they can, and if you gave them the right accessories and the right looks, I think you could have a successful opportunity with them. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there, but I'm sure hopefully one day we will get these guys. I don't know, man. You know, Mattel has their specific rules, and they stick to those rules, and, you know, they have a revolving door of talent that they're in, pool of talent that they have to, you know, go between all the time. So I don't know, but appreciate the comment, man. If you guys want a random comment shout out, be sure to be active on the channel. Leave some random comments on the videos, or, you know, ask a question or something like that, and we'll get to you, and you could be featured in the next video. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me, man. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.